So, hello everyone, I'm Marston, and today we are honored to have the opportunity to share our research at ICC Cybersecurity Conference Asia again. And today's topic is focused on in-depth data breach analysis, focused on critical infrastructure of Asia Pacific. Who are TXOne? TXOne is a joint venture company by Chen Michael and Mosa. I'm not sure Chen Michael has over 30 years cybersecurity, threat intelligence, and high speed DPI technology. And also, Mosa has 30 years OT network experience. So we combine that, and that is TXOne. We focus on providing cyber defense and visibility for operational technology. So I'm Mars, and I'm a researcher at TXOne Networks, and I spoke at Brad had Hagen Box and Hikong's Control and many major cybersecurity conference, and also I'm an instructor of Ministry of National Defense and Education and Economic Efforts in Taiwan. And also I'm the general coordinator of Hikong 2021, and it's a very big conference at Asia Pacific too. And also I'm Yanting, my colleague. He's also is a researcher at TXOne Networks, and also he focuses on ISIS and SCADA security research, and provide cyber offensive and defensive exercise for the global and for the governments in Taiwan. And also he very in-depth technology for web application and IoT SCADA and penetration testing. Also he spoke many cybersecurity conference too. And also today's outline, and we will talk about introduction first, and then about everything about the data breach, and we will talk about our data breach analysis systems. How do we manage those massive and chaotic data to measure one interface to manage to perform analysis for those massive data, and then we will talk about our analysis result. We focus on the Asia Pacific for the 5 countries, including including Singapore, India, South Korea, Taiwan, and Japan. And so we will provide takeaway and mitigation. And in this part, Yanting will introduce some introduction and our data breach analysis to us. So now I will hand over to Yanting.
Hi, I am Yanting. I am a researcher at the TXOne network. For this part, we'll introduce our research background, some related work, and how we build an in-depth analysis system for data breach. All of data set here come from public internet, and it is possible for anyone to download it by himself. For this part, we'll also show some sample of these data sets. First, we should know what is a data breach. A data breach is a cybersecurity incident that involves a malicious actor gaining private data. Hacker may use a number of different techniques to steal its data. For example, hacker is able to compromise network system using non-malleability, or trick an employee into clicking malicious link or opening malicious files. Sometimes the data may be stored in disk or removable device. It is possible for hacker to steal physical device directly. Moreover, data breach also may happen when an employee unintentionally or intentionally leaks their private information. In fact, when a company suffers a data breach attack, it is not only affecting the company itself, but also affecting its customers. We can imagine that an employee in critical infrastructure sign up as a member of a restaurant. If the restaurant is compromised, hacker could do a phishing or waterhole attack to the employee over leakage data. So it is difficult for a company to prevent the impact from data breach. In general, the leaks usually contain email and password. Sometimes we also could find personal information, address, and other confidential data. Like Amazon has been leaked its customer's name and email in 2018. NGN Hotel has been leaked its guest information and address in 2020. If hackers have that data, it could be a powerful resource for them executing initial access tactic. As so far, there are many related research and data research on data breach. The research usually include why the data breach incident happened and who are the victims. IBM even had researched the cost of data breach every year. However, there are few reports focused on breach content and even on critical infrastructure. So we research on it. Now we'll talk about our data breach analysis system. Step 1, we collect the leakage data disclosed on the internet or in a forum, and then formalize and convert it into package format. Next, we design a system that can automatically upload data to S3 and create the database over Lambda. Lastly, a user can call Athena to get data of interest according to his demand. It also can automatically generate the analysis chart in QuickSight. Next part will explain each process step by step. For getting leaked data set, we have collected the leakage data disclosed on the internet or in a forum. Some of that still can be downloaded by anyone user now. As so far, we collected over 200 data sets and 10 billion leakage pieces of data. Because all of data come from different source and different hacker. For this reason, it doesn't have standard format, such as we may get a Excel format including personal information, or text format including email, password, and it use informal symbol to split data. Sometimes we also got data with unnecessary prefix or comment. It may even in SQL format. For this chaotic data set, we need to pay much cost on formalized them step by step. This table shows part of our data set. It has linking, Twitter, collection series, and so on. Because most of hackers didn't spend their time to sort out the stolen data, we often find there will be a lot of format errors, unusable data in the set. Therefore, we need to clean up this miscellaneous data to build our own database. After cleaning, our database has over 200 datasets and 10 billion leakage pieces of data. For this part, we'll introduce our analyzed targets. Our targets are critical infrastructure companies in Taiwan, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, and India. We focus on the companies that are in top 100 for market value in January 2021. In general, the definition of critical infrastructure sector often relates energy, traffic, communication, government, financial, and medical. In Taiwan, there are 8 sectors of critical infrastructure. Differently, it involves the high-tech part sector. We will see there are many companies related to this sector belong to top 100 for market value. In Japan, there are 14 sectors of critical infrastructure. As figure, its categories are more detailed. For example, energy is divided into gas, electric power supplies. Transportation is divided into aviation, railway, and logistics. In Singapore, there are 11 sectors of critical infrastructure. Besides energy, traffic, communication, blah, 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 it involves the media sector. The sector includes broadcasting, publication of newspaper, and printing service. In South Korea, there are 9 sectors of critical infrastructure. Differently, it involves the environment sector, from correction to landfill facilities that are belong to these sectors. In India, there are 12 sectors of critical infrastructure. It's similar to US. India includes space, defense, and critical manufacturing sectors. Now, I'll hand this talk over to Matt. He will discuss more detail about our analyzed targets.
Okay, thanks, Anthony. Now I will going to talk about the more in-depth analysis result and our scope. And now you will see, we already know the overall baseline from 5 countries is over about 100 market share in each country. And now, after this baseline, we know in Taiwan we have 98 companies in this list for across the 5 critical infrastructure sectors. So because we know the top 100 sectors may not be all including in the critical infrastructure sectors, so we have some baseline and we do the filtrate and we conduct this. Those 98 companies in list is our analyzed targets. So you will see the traffic, finance, science, and industrial park. In Taiwan, the science and industrial park is very, very important industry and business in the Taiwan for the GDP, for economic. So there are many companies in this list, including telecom and energy. And also, you will see the reward red text is the 98 company is not any data in our later analyze. We will exclude because the leakage information is 0, number is 0. And also Japan, top 100 company in Japan, and we only filter 24 companies in the list, including chemical, financial, information, and communication, like petroleum, railway, and so on. So only 1 company is 0 for leakage. And also Singapore has 17 companies in the list. So media, land, information and communication, energy and banking and finance and aviation and healthcare. And also we know that each country have their very, very different classification about their own critical infrastructure status. So we will base on this by each country, but we will give analysis later. And also in South Korea, there are 27 company in the list, but only 4 critical infrastructure status in like transportation, telecommunication, financials, and energies. And the 4 company in the list is 0. And India, and 44 companies, and some mostly in the banking and finance, and part of 11 company in the critical manufacturing. And also there are 5 critical infrastructure sectors in the list. And then we know those the baseline, and we know our analyzed target. So later we will combine our leakage data and those our analyzed data, and we combine them and generate the analyzed report. And we want to know how about the leakage ratio, how about the leakage count, how about anything about those leakage data like email, password, and sensitive information, or even VPN credential. We want to know the potential risk in those critical infrastructure in each countries. So now we can do this. We can use the each company's domain, email domain, to query our database, query our leakage data. And we already know we bind those chaotic data to the one into the send format. So they have a mail, password hash, plain text password, and our results, our source data. And we use this, we use at least the mail domain to combine that. And we can analyze our data, and we can display our result. And about all of that result, about our analysis results, and we want to highlight one thing before we dive into our analysis result by the country, by each country, and we want to know there are four chart in our analyze, and the first one is a count leakage count with each sector. So each country we will count the leakage count. So we want to know how many leakage number in each sector or each company or in each classifications. And also we will count the leakage ratios. We will use the amount of leakage data, equal to the amount of employees to find the percentage. And also we analyze the pass-through strongland to the score by countries. And you will see the layer four number from 0 to 5 4 level from 0 to 4. And if the score in the 0 to 1, it means it's very guessable. So if this password is very guessable, it means this. You just need to guess the maybe just need 1,000 or 1,000 times you will guess this password. And if you are your scoring between 2 and 3, you need to guess the 1,000 hundreds, and you can guess the password is meanwhile. But it's still very guessable because in nowadays we can use very powerful machine to crack the password or to guess the password. So if the password strong is not strong enough, it's very guessable and very weak. And also we simulate the hacker views, and if hacker use the dictionary attack to password dictionary to perform an attack, we want to know how percentage those password in the dictionary. So we compare those leaked data with the top 100,000 password dictionary to find out how many percent to English sectors. So that's our baseline, and now we show our overview summary the analysis by countries. You will see the Taiwan, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, India, and you will find many chart in this view. So you will see in Taiwan there are many information, 190,000 over these numbers. The leak count in Taiwan, 94 companies, and those companies in the critical infrastructure status in Taiwan's baseline. So based on this, and you will see so many data will leak, even in Taiwan, South Korea, India, Japan. Every country have the leakage data. So it's millions, it's 10,000, hundreds numbers in the leak. So those numbers are very potential risk. And also sometimes we know the count is not enough to prove something. So we also analyze the leakage ratio by country. So you will find things. One thing is in the South Korea they are over 10%. India, Singapore, South Korea have over 10% leakage ratios. So every 10 people, only 10 people in the infrastructure, so 1 people, the password is leaked. So it's a very high percentage number, because if this leakage ratio is more, company just need to try to find the leakage data, and they can try to compromise this company in the critical infrastructure. And also we also test the password strongland, and almost country is still use a weak password, especially but just in Japan there are more strong password score in Japan to 2.5 and to this. So but the other country is very weak, it's very guessable. So it's a general situation, but we know that in different countries there are different national conditions. So we want to highlight this, and we want to know by different country what kinds of situation they may face, or what kinds of potential risk they may face. And also we mapping to the password dictionary, and we know the result here. So in Singapore, in India, in Taiwan, also over 10%. So if a hacker use the 100,000 password dictionary to crack your company password, so over 10, a hacker just need to try 10 times and it will get 1 hit. So it's very high percentage to perform this attack. So just the reference is for just data is for reference, and now we will go through by each country, And now here's Taiwan, and you will see here in Taiwan's view, and also in the Silence Park, there are many most powerful, most numbers leakage count in the Taiwan's critical infrastructure assets. But because we know in Taiwan there are 73 company in this list. So if we compare to the leakage ratio, you will see the telecom is very is top priority. It's first place. And also common sense is for the password score, including for all sectors. In this part, we combine the traffic and energy to the one category, because we want to avoid some sensitive things, because in the Taiwan's energy only one company in the critical infrastructure list, so we want to avoid some sensitive things will be happening, so we combine the list, so only you will see the four sectors in this part. So their password score is very equal, is 1.5, only 1.5, so it's just still very weak score. And also, like if we map it to the dictionary, which attack also over 10% in the each sectors. It's a very high percentage. And later we will highlight what kinds of accident will happen in this potential risk. And also you will see the Singapore, and there are about the leakage count is very huge gap, and also leakage ratio also have huge gap. If you focus on land, if you focus on aviation, only 1.1%, but if you focus on information and communication or energy and media, and there are many high percentage for leakage ratio. But however, the password score is very around 1.3, 1.4. And also the mapping dictionary, you will see, and healthcare, there are 30%. It's very high percentage in this part. But we will say it's just a potential risk, because we don't know we not verify our data to make sure this data still validated, still void. So we not avoid this because it's some legal issue. But according to our analysis, we just want to highlight the potential risk. So at least 30% is in our list. Potential risk is very high. And also in Japan, you will see in Japan also financial or information and communication, and it also is very high leakage count. And also, but in Japan, there are very powerful things is leakage ratio is very low compared with other country. The most leakage ratio in the Japan only in the chemical sectors, and only for 5.3% is very lower percentage in our analysis is very low. And also, I'm sorry, and also about dictionary ratio also is very very low, in only 4%, 3%. And then about the South Korea, then you will see the leakage count also in the energy sector is very high, and also in energy sector is the leakage ratio is very high. And as we know, the energy sectors usually use power plant, use the power generation systems, so it's very critical infrastructures in each country. So if those sectors suffer the attack, it's a very huge impact. No power use or physical event, physical attack, or physical damage in the people's property is still very dangerous. And also about the password score, is also sent about the 1.7, 1.8 in South Korea. And also you will find in India. And also India, like critical manufacturing and banking and finance. And in the banking and finance, they are very high leakage count in the sectors. And then, but however, in the location restricted, the financial and banking is only 10% in India, but 10% still a high percentage. Still, it's a high percentage in our view. So 25% in critical manufacturing and 33% in telecommunications. And also the leakage password score is still at 1.7, 1.8. So you will see that each other country is included, Japan. Other countries, the password score is very weak. A hacker can very guessable here. Also, and we map to the dictionary result, and you will find one thing is over 10% general, over 10%, and almost to energy and transportation is over 17% in the mapping to dictionary. So it's very high percentage. So a hacker can easily to attack it with the dictionary attack and try to compromise. And also we review the top 10 password analysis from those countries because we count the top 10 passwords, and we find one things, all of those countries still use those the password from 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9. Those password for pattern they still use, and very frequent and common. And also in the keyboard layout and one crazy at WSX and uppercase or lowercase, and still over 3 countries use. And also some country were often used to the password, this password to use their password. But we know, and also we want to highlight the potential risk because we provided so many data about Leakage Cont, Leakage sure password dictionary attack compared with this dictionary, and also we count the password score, calculate the password score, and now we want to know what kinds of scenario, what kinds of things will happen in this in this potential risk. And first, we want to use this Ukrainian power grid cyber attack in 2015, and attacker used the phishing email. So as a hacker, as an attack, if you have the Cont, you can send a phishing email to your target victims. So it is a very targeted attack. You send the phishing email, and operator or IT guys will click you with your email, and this email with the blank registry, your mail weight, and click it, then the mail weight to connect to CNC. And the attacker can compromise business network is very easier, and the attacker find the VPN credential in this business network and try to access to the control system network and find other remote access tool, try to operate the HMI and command over 50 remote stations, and in the 30 minutes, and they make our power outage. And then step 5, this attack also upload the malicious firmware to make the network disruption, and also use the modified and QDix malware to erase the master boot. So the HMI, the Windows devices cannot be operated, cannot be used anymore. So network failed, operator and HMI failed. So as known, your operator already cannot operate these devices. So also use the UPS. Also attacker use the UPS system to schedule and service outage. So now operators already don't know how to operate, how to recover this power outage they call out, but they can use the telephone denial service to attack the call centers. So it's very deeply attacked. After step 5, every step they want to delay the recovery time. So we know the potential risk is very high because we know the lost password is just the initial access part. But if your attacker know this, they do this all things, and they can find they can have a breaking point in this part. And also, if we focus on those interface in the internet, we find many companies, they will provide access or VPN, they will provide an email, and they will provide access or some prototype in the internet. They allow their employees to log in remotely, and especially some of service, some of portal that will use the Active Directory service come into their own network. So it's very dangerous things if the attack find and their leak data, and those leak data can be used and still void. Then they can try to do the initial access, and they can forge the user. They can try to do something. Also in the this year February, and Florida water treatment plant also hit by cyber attack. And also we find one thing is in the February 2, 3.0 billion content password leaked on the darknet. And however, in February 5, attack may use those password to access the TeamViewer with Windows 7 and try to tackle for that water treatment plant. So it's real things. And leak data, if attacker use those leak data, and they could try to do remote access or try to do some things. And also the recent on May 7th on the Corona pipeline also suffered a ransomware attack, and the recent news towards also this Corona pipeline attack used the compromised VPN password. Again, it's password, and those password may leak to the darknet. So we need to focus on this. And if those are very, very potential risk here. And also is here's dark side ransomware the attack path. So attacker can use exploit or phishing. So if they use phishing, they can do the clean access to discovery, get an AD server, AD service, and AD information, analytical movement, and command control, and drop the malware and ransomware and try to ransom and steal the data. And now we want to provide some takeaway and mitigation because we want to summarize our finding and our analysis. And first thing is we find over 0.55 million critical infrastructure email and password leaked over the 5 countries. And also the highest leakage ratio in the world in telecommunication and energy in general is average. And also, no matter your cybersecurity equipment availability, data breach may be is an unintentional release by the third-party service or your supply chain, but you still focus on your password management. And also, most of critical infrastructure such as leak data will use a weak password. About 10% it could be mapped to the 100,000 password dictionary successfully. And also how to mitigate. And we know you should use the DTP techniques, procedures to review your architecture, to review your organization, and to block and to assessment your initial access part, and make sure your void account is be audited. And also, in workers should not use the layer company email to register with external surveys. So some password and should not reuse same password for multiple accounts. So for company, for business use and for personal use, the email and password you need to separate. And also never click the email or download file from if senders is someone you don't know, maybe because the attacker know your email address. You can try to use a phishing email, and those emails just may retrieved by hacker with the darknet or leaked data. Also, more advanced, you should use the brute force detection mechanism and two-factor authentication to keep not only use the username and password or email and password to keep your account safety. You should use the brute force detection, and you need to use a two-factor two-factor authentication to make sure double check your identity. And now. We have done with this presentation. So if you have any question about this data breach over the Asia Pacific, welcome to visit the TXOne booth, and we will answer your any question. And also, even if you not find me at the booth, you can tweet me. I will answer you. And also about this research, we plan to release fully the white paper recently. So if we always welcome any question. And thank you for listening again. Thank you.